Hey everybody, this is Tracy here with another edition of A View from Tracy's Point, and we are here for our Afterthoughts after the show, Power Book 2, Episode 2. So I'm going to take back what I said last week about 50 must have found some new writers because I thought the writing had gotten a little better. Well, Episode 2 let me know that they pretty much still have the same writers. So let's go ahead and get into this. It appears that each week they're going to be talking about an American classic novel. I think last week it was Moby Dick. This week it is Great Expectations. And so once again, Tariq is running late to class and hasn't read the required materials. Lauren is a bit naive and ends up getting Tariq called out in class after he had been snuck in and sat in the back of the room. And it caught Jabari's attention, and of course Jabari asked him a couple of questions. He could answer the first question, but then the second question he had to admit that he didn't finish reading the paper, or didn't finish reading the book. So Jabari lets Carrie know that Tariq is full of it and not taking his opportunity serious. And then I want to backtrack to last week. I think I was trying to get all these characters because there's a lot of new characters, and I was trying to figure out who everyone is, and I believe I said that the character Carrie was the character Paula, but we actually meet Paula later on in this episode. So anyway, we learned that Carrie is a bit manipulative and codependent, and she is seeing a counselor for her inability to let go of toxic relationships. Her and Jabari end up having sex in his office, and I swear I heard a door open because remember he said that whoever he shares the office with might be coming in, but Carrie is a bit adventurous. She didn't care if somebody walked in, and they got busy right there on the desk where anybody could have walked in and seen them. And so a counselor was basically telling her that she needs to get it together and stop playing games. So Jabari accused Carrie of still wanting him and points to the fact that she got him the job at Stansfield, and not only got him the job, but one in her department, assuring that they would have to interact with each other. And so I definitely see something going down between Tariq, Carrie, and Jabari. I don't know if Jabari is abusive or if Carrie is abusive, if Tariq is going to have to come in and rescue her, or if Carrie is going to try and come on to Tariq. But I just feel like there's going to be a tension between Tariq, Carrie, and Jabari. So then we move over to Davis McLean, and he and his top investigator, who is actually Paula, who I thought was Carrie last week. So the lead investigator name is Paula Matarazzo, and the two of them meet with Tasha to try and understand why Sykes thinks that she is a queen pin. And this is where the writing came off the cards for me. Tasha was so unbelievable in delivering her lines because even she realized how stupid she sounded, and maybe she's not really happy with the direction that they're already going with her storyline and having her in this predicament that makes absolutely no sense. So Paula was cutting her up and showing her how easy the prosecution would be able to trap her into making statements, since she already has said that she was the one that told Tommy Egan to kill Ghost. And so she is basically implicating herself in the crime. And so everything they bring up leads back to Tasha being the head bitch in charge. So McLean still believes in Tasha's innocence and wants to run with the story that Tommy killed Ghost, and he lets Tasha know he expects to get paid, and he don't know how her and Tariq are gonna come up with this money, but he wants his money. So the first order of business is to figure out what Sykes is doing and how he went from being fired to the U.S. attorney in a matter of 2 weeks. And you heard that right, 2 weeks. So if it's been 2 weeks since Sykes was fired, then that means that it's only been a week since Ghost has been dead. So not adding up at all. And so let me reiterate all that has taken place in that short period of time. They have had the reading of the will. Tariq has gotten his GED. Tariq has started college. Tariq has partially read 3 books and written a whole paper for Zeke, earned $50,000 selling drugs using Epiphany, and Tasha has been arraigned, offered multiple plea deals, is on her 3rd attorney, and has been charged with a RICO. So anywho, McLean gets a judge to agree to a hearing in an attempt to get the charges dropped. He believes that Sykes bringing the charges is political and can't be substantiated. So he calls in Blanca Rodriguez. You guys know she's the New York police detective. And he called her in as a witness to discuss this Terry Silver case. And so Sykes hasn't changed, but the judge feels there is enough innuendo to hold Tasha because basically Blanca's testimony led to the fact that Tasha knew where the body was. Tasha had all this information, so Tasha very well could have ordered the hit on Terry Silver. So Blanca lets McLean and Paula know that she wants to be a witness in the case so that she can destroy Sykes because she believes he's a liar and he is up to no good. It's finally time for Ghost's funeral. Everyone agrees that Tariq should speak, but they just can't agree on what he should say. McLean wants him to tear his dad down and expose him as the horrible drug-dealing, murdering, abusive dad that he was. Simon wants Tariq to speak highly of his dad and talk about how he had imperfections, and Simon is pretty much schooling Tariq and letting Tariq know that, people are going to use you to their advantage, but at the end of the day, you have got to go with what is going to benefit you the most. Don't play into other people's narrative. Always think about yourself. Tasha also wants him to speak favorably, but decides maybe she should give the eulogy instead of Tariq. So this leads to her being escorted to the graveside service by U.S. Marshals. And things go awry when they take Tasha from the van and handcuff her. And so, of course, she can't get up and speak to all these people that are there handcuffed. So Tariq ends up having to be the one that speaks. So the only people at the funeral that we know is the family: Tariq, Tasha, Tasha's mom, and Yasmin. And then, of course, David McLean is there. And Tariq finally gets to meet Ghost's uncle, Gabe. Councilman Tate, I guess, is very much still in the race to become governor. And so he shows up at the funeral and gives his condolences. And there it becomes apparent that all of this is about clearing Ghost's name to save the Democratic ticket. Because remember, Ghost and Tate were friends, and then Ghost went to be with the lady that they decided to endorse for governor. And so they have got to clear everybody of having any knowledge of any wrongdoing by Ghost or supporting the notion that Ghost was this kingpin. And so the rest of the people that are there are extras that were brought in by Stephen Ott, to make it seem like Ghost was this, still respected businessman, well loved. Simon was there. And it was just sad to think that Ghost built this empire. He had all this money. He ran Truth. But then when he died, nobody showed up for his funeral. And so it was just like you can gain the whole world but lose your soul in the whole process. And so I thought that was pretty telling and sad at the same time. So Tariq, following conversations he's had throughout the show about the book of Great Expectations, takes the high road and gives Ghost the send-off he deserves by saying he was a complicated man who only wanted a better life for his family. Tariq says he didn't really know his dad, but wants to learn from his life so that he can become a better person. Now let's talk about the Tejada family. Please tell me how this supposed to be big time drug, this crime family, crime bosses, don't know who Tariq St. Patrick is and are oblivious to the death of James St. Patrick, aka Ghost. So they have their own problems. Monet is the character that's played by Mary J. Blige. And she's sleeping with a cop, and I think his name is Marcos. And I couldn't tell if he's like related to Monet's husband, or what the deal was with that situation. But she's basically using him for sex. She doesn't want anybody to know what's going on. But her son comes home and sees the Marcos guy leaving. So now he knows that there's something up, something going on. And then another character comes in, a guy named Uncle Frank, has been released from prison, and he shows up as they're having a family dinner. And Tariq had asked Zeke earlier in the show to ask Monet if it was okay if he came over for dinner. So Tariq is there, Zeke is there, the other brother, I think Monet has 2 sons, and then she has the daughter Diana. So everybody's there, they're eating. And in comes Uncle Frank, which is like a red flag. Like, dude, how did you get out of jail? What's going on? Uncle Frank was like, oh, I got paroled. I was paroled. And so they're like, hey, oh, okay, hold on. Like, how did we not know that you were paroled? And so Monet basically tells him to get out. And so then she tells one son to deal with Uncle Frank, the other one to deal with Tariq, take Tariq back to the college campus. And as they're on their way back, they pull over and they get out of the car. He pulls the gun on Tariq and is basically like, who are you? Where did you come from? What's going on? And then Tariq hips him to game and lets him know that the uncle is a snitch. And basically how the whole parole process works, that it takes weeks, that you don't just wake up one day and they say, hey, dude, you got parole, you're going home. Like, it's a process. They reach out to family members that have to come in and, talk about it and give their opinion, families of victims and that type of thing. So they know that it's a setup. And then the uncle is quickly disposed of, Tommy Egan style. Like, they shot homeboy in the head, cut his body up, put him in a steel drum, and then brought him up through the sidewalk and threw him in the back of a car. I was like, oh my God, these people they might be more ruthless than Tommy ever was. And then the Tariq's friend from Choke, and is Choate, not Choke, Choke, like I kept saying last week. Oh, let me backtrack for a second. Once they came back and told Monet, that Tariq said that the uncle was a snitch, now Monet wants to know more about Tariq and who Tariq is. And that's why I said earlier, it makes no sense that they're this big crime family, but they don't know who the other criminals in town are. So then move over to Tariq, and he's back at school. And so his friend Braden, the one that he attended school at Choke with, comes to find out he's like this big man on campus. His family is very wealthy. They are huge donors to the college. They have like a frat house named after them. The pool is named after them. The softball field, like probably some other places. The library and everything else were all donated by his family. And they are over at the frat house where his brothers are hosting a party. And not only are they rich, and products of donorship, but the brothers are also racist, because they kept telling Braden that he couldn't be at the party with this skid mark. And he kept referring to Tariq as a skid mark. And Tariq was acting like he didn't know what skid mark meant, and that he was okay, that as long as Braden said he could be there, he could be there. Then a fight ends up breaking out. The police come and they go to arrest the one brother. And then Braden steps up and lets them know who they are, that they're these donors and they're untouchable because the school doesn't want to lose their money. And all the while, Tariq is looking like, oh, hell yeah, like this is going to be my money maker right here. I am going to be dealing drugs to all these rich white guys at this party. The last thing was Carrie decided that she wanted to get the students to put on a memorial service for ghosts. And we don't know why it was important for her to do this. Like, these people don't know ghosts from the man on the moon or one of the teachers in the classroom, okay, or somebody that's working on the maintenance crew. But for some reason, she wanted to put on this memorial service. She got the kids to participate. And Jabari kept telling her it was a horrible idea, but Carrie, you know, is just very overwhelming. She's always overstepping her boundaries, and she decides to put on this memorial. And Tariq was not at the memorial, and I can't even remember if she invited Tariq or she suggested it to Tariq, but Tariq turned it down. But in any event, they decided to go on with the memorial. They had a big image of ghosts of James St. Patrick, a big picture up there. They were out there with the candles, and then Tariq comes running through the courtyard, and he's looking like, what the hell is going on? And then he realizes what's going on, and he was not happy about it. And then Braden was like, man, come on, let's get out of here. And so basically Carrie is definitely doing way too much, and it's going to be interesting to see what becomes of her character, how this relationship with Tariq unfolds. So that's it for me. I'm sure I missed a lot. Go ahead and leave it in the comments. Let me know what you think about this episode. Do you like the direction that the show is going? Comment, rate the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And until the next time, I shall talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.